In last class, we learned about one of the classification of matter, that is pure substance, and also we have completed the further classification of pure substance. Now we will move on to mixtures, that is another classification of matter. We know that a mixture contains particles of two or more pure substance which may be present in it in any ratio, and also their composition may vary. A mixture is further divided into two. One is homogeneous mixture, second one is heterogeneous mixtures. In homogeneous mixture, the components completely mix with each other, that is, the components gets distributed uniformly throughout the solution. For example, sugar solution and salt solution. Sugar solution, in the case of sugar solution, the sugar is uniformly distributed throughout the solution. Whereas the mixture in which the components are not distributed uniformly throughout is called heterogeneous mixture. Example here is a sand dissolved in water. Here the sand particles are not distributed uniformly throughout the solution. A mixture can be separated by using appropriate physical methods such as hand picking, filtration, crystallization, etc. Considering an example, we have an heterogeneous mixture of sulfur and iron filling. We can separate the iron filling using a magnet. That is, we call this separation as magnetic separation. Every matter has unique properties. Properties of matter can be divided into two. That is, physical properties and chemical properties. Now we will learn about these properties. Physical properties are those which can be measured or observed without changing the identity or the composition of the substance. The properties such as odor, color, melting point, boiling point, density, etc. are physical properties. Only the physical properties of the matter is not enough for the identification of the substance. For example, if we have a piece of sulfur which has got yellow color. The yellow color is only one of its properties. Only this property cannot be used for the identification because there will be many substances in yellow color like gold, tennis ball, etc. So it is important to know more about the chemical properties of the substance. That is, chemical properties can be observed when an chemical change occurs. Flammability, reactivity to acids, reactivity to base are some of the chemical properties. Chemists describe, interpret and predict the behavior of substances on the basis of their physical and chemical properties, which are determined by careful measurement and experimentation. So next we will learn more about quantitative measurement of properties, which is required for scientific investigation. Any quantitative observation or measurement is represented by a number followed by units in which it is measured. That is, measurement is equal to numerical value plus unit. For example, if we take a kg of sugar, the measurement represented here can be like measurement is equal to 1 kg. Here 1 is numerical value and kg is the unit. Earlier, the systems of measurement is derived from two systems. One is English system and second one is metric system. English system included units like foot, gallons, yard, etc. In metric system, it was originated in France and in late 18th century it became more convenient as it used decimal system or the multiples of power of 10. That is, 1 kilometer can be written in 10 raised to 3 meter. Later, the scientific community felt the need of a common standard system, and in 1960 such a system was established. The new system known as International System of Units or SI units, which is in short form of the System of International in French. The SI system has 7 base units, then they are length, mass, time, electric current, thermodynamic temperature, amount of substance, luminous intensity. Length is measured in meter and mass is measured in kilogram. Time is measured in seconds. Electric current is measured in ampere. Thermodynamic temperature is measured in Kelvin. Amount of substance is measured in mole, and luminous intensity is measured in candela. Now we will look into the details of some quantitative measurements like mass, volume, density and temperature. First one is mass. Have you ever thought of the difference between mass and weight? Often people consider these two terms as same, but that is not the case. Mass is the amount of matter present in a substance, whereas weight is the force exerted by gravity on an object. For example, if we weigh an object from Earth and space, the mass of that substance will be same on both Earth and space, but the calculated weight will be different. As we know that the SI unit of mass is kilogram, but in lab we use the smaller amount of chemical, so fraction named gram is used. Next quantitative measurement is volume. Volume is the amount of space occupied by a substance. Its unit is meter cube. For laboratory purpose, and smaller fractions are used such as centimeter cube or decimeter cube. Another common unit used for the measurement of volume of liquids is liter, which is represented as capital letter L. 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliter. In lab, for the measurement of liquid, we use graduated cylinder, pipette, burette, etc. Next is density. Density of a substance is its amount of mass per unit volume. That is, density is equal to mass by volume. The SI unit of density is equal to SI unit of mass by SI unit of volume. That is, kilogram per meter cube. Here, gram per centimeter cube is the smaller fraction. Density of a substance gives how closely its particles are packed. If density is more, particles are more closely packed. Next is about temperature. Common scales to measure temperature is degree Celsius, degree Fahrenheit and Kelvin. SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. Degree Celsius is represented from 0 degree to 100 degree Celsius. Fahrenheit scale is represented between 32 degree to 212 degree Fahrenheit. Now, in the case of conversion of degree Celsius to Fahrenheit, we use the equation degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9 divided by 5 into degree Celsius plus 32. That is equal to degree Celsius into 1.8 plus 32. And in the case of the conversion of degree Celsius to Kelvin, Kelvin is equal to degree Celsius plus 273.15. Freezing point of water is, in degree Celsius it is 0 and in degree Fahrenheit it is 32 degree Fahrenheit. And the boiling point of water in degree Celsius it is 100 degree Celsius, and in the case of Fahrenheit it is 212 degree Fahrenheit. If you study more in chemistry, and of course we have to do many experiments, since we are dealing with smaller particles having low masses in large numbers, we have many calculations with large numbers. Therefore, we have many meaningful ways to handle the numbers conveniently. So, we will discuss those convenient ways for experimental calculations. That is scientific notations. If we take an Avogadro number, there are 20 zeros after 6 0 to 2. So, it is very inconvenient to write those numbers and also difficult to calculate the experiment value. To overcome this problem, scientific world started using exponential notation. In scientific notation, any number can be notated like n into 10 to the power of n. Here, small letter n is the exponent having positive or negative value, whereas capital letter N takes the value from 1 to 10. So Avogadro number can be written as 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. Similarly, we can write 0.04325 as 4.325 into 10 raised to minus 2. Note that in the former example of Avogadro number, the decimal point is moved to the left, so its exponential is positive. And in the latter example, the decimal point is moved to the right. While we are doing experiments, we often use the term accuracy and precision. Precision refers to the closeness of various measurements for the same quantity, whereas accuracy is the agreement of the particular value to the true value of the result. Consider the true value for an experiment is 2 gram. Okay, when the students do the experiment, they report different values. Taking all the values reported, the values which are closer to each other is considered as precise value. And if the average of the reported value is closer to the true value, then we can say that the result is accurate.